Hello, all of you in spherical luminosity land. Welcome live. We seem to have a little bit of a delay, so hopefully you guys can see it all right. And we are discussing tonight what the heck is going on during this window of ascension. So if you could continue to comment in the chat your first name and where you're from. Let's see, we have the Lawrences here. We have Michael and Mary who are here joining us from Colorado. And then we have our crew from San Miguel de Allende. We have Pam and Chris and Liz. Thank you all for joining.
Is it possible for you to sit back up?
Oh, sorry. Chris is telling me to sit back up because the mic is behind me, but I also can't see the tiny little writing. So I'm going to do my very best. And let's see, we have a number of Australians here. We have Will, and then I think I saw Nat, I think, from Australia as well. And then we have Ragna from Norway, who has been super diligent with coming on for this and also for the invitation to Higher Self. So thank you for joining us. I mean, you have Betsy and Todd from San Diego. And I think we also have my son, John, from San Diego. Look at you guys, all ex-Egypt people. And then we have Brigitte from Ontario and Kristen. Look at all these people. This is awesome. Hello, all of you. And then we also have, let's see, Emily in Wyoming and Kristen and Billy saying hi, hello back, and the delightful Patsy Creedy. Good to see you from San Francisco. And Sarah, hi Sarah, we haven't seen you in a bit, from, I think it was Minnesota. And we have Katrine coming in from Ontario. And the rest of you that I didn't say hello to personally, but welcome all of you and thank you for joining us. This is going to be a really, I feel, deep YouTube Live and one that's really important at this time as we start to ramp up in intensity. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Karen Chong, and I catalyze your shift from the ordinary to the exhilaration of the quantum by giving you the tools to change your frequency resonance so that the life you live matches the life you dream of. Now, for those of you who are brand spanking new to frequency work and don't know much about it, I'd really highly recommend checking out episode 176, Frequency Work Fundamentals Reboot, of my podcast, Mastering Your World Through Frequencies, on this very same channel. So that's episode 176, Frequency Work Fundamentals Reboot. All right, so today, though, we are talking about what the heck is going on with this window ascension? I mean, isn't it supposed to be something amazing? So then why is it looking like this? So for context, because of course, it's an important thing to have during this time, we're going to be discussing that tonight and also how to make the most of this time. So without any further ado, I'm going to welcome on my fabulous co-host who is now back, Miss Fiona Malcolm. All right.
Well, I'm really happy that we're having this conversation, especially at this moment. But before we go on any further, please, 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 to everybody that's listening, if you could hit the like button or the thumbs up, because we're being a little bit provoked, shall we say, and shifted, and it would be so helpful if we could get folk to give us a thumbs up so that the algorithms don't push us away and just feed you all bad stuff. We've got the good stuff, so let's keep that going. And I believe we have a similar issue with our emails. They're trying to stop our emails as well, people.
Yeah. So you guys might know this, but we've been getting more and more emails from people, even who have bought things from us or who have requested information from us, saying they're not receiving our emails. And so email service providers, actually the worst of which is Gmail or Google, they're really throttling emails right now. And so we're having more and more people having challenge with getting our emails, even if you've requested them or even if you want to receive them. So just for you guys to know, next week, we are going to be sending out an email to you. And if you could just hit reply with yes, that will allow for our emails to come through to you. And because it takes you a second or two of your time to hit reply, I'm going to include a free group frequency calibration that I just recorded earlier today called Centering into a Higher Frequency Resonance, which I think is going to be helpful. So,
Yes, it
and
is.
it's definitely meant as a little like pick me up because it's like 17 minutes, right? So it's like meant for something, you know, if you need it. At the
So you
last
can
minute.
just put it on
You
whenever you feel
need
your
it, yeah.
frequency drop.
Yeah.
Aye,
So that's what it's there
fantastic.
for.
And I don't know if there's anybody new here listening in, but the discussion's great. The questions are awesome. But the best part of this whole thing tonight is that you get a free group frequency calibration
Yeah.
given by you, of course, not me. So hang in there because that definitely helps you raise your resonance. If you're feeling like ugh right now, hang in, listen to the end, and it'll definitely give you a space there to lift your resonance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That's where the work happens.
So let's go there because right now it looks like the world is burning.
Yeah.
Literally, figuratively, metaphorically,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like there's complete chaos. Our leaders are a disaster. They're pedophiles. You name it. Australia is on fire.
Yeah.
Italy is flooding.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just chaos. Iran, Israel, Palestine.
Yeah.
If you were to just feed into that all the time, that social media news feed, the news on the telly, the discussions that happen around tables, and how terrible he is, and how terrible he is, and his politics, and his morality, and blah, 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 you wouldn't want to go to bed in the morning.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
So, where is the silver line? Because I'm also hearing this is the year.
Yeah.
This is when the chaos just rises and then burns away.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. So, we've been talking a lot about this solar system upgrade, so if you don't know what I'm talking about and you want more context, watch the YouTube live from last session in January and the one that we gave together in November. So, and that sounds glorious because it is, right? When you have this massive upgrade that happens in the Earth, the planet that we're standing on, and then of course our star, the sun, you think amazing. This is going to be incredible, and there is that opportunity to really move into a higher dimensional order of consciousness. But in order for that to happen, there needs to be a purge. There needs to be a release of these lower level patterns that are like just entrenched in all of our institutions. So, there's so much uprising happening at this time on so many levels. Whatever country you look at, there's a lot of uprising happening, and then very extreme forms of repression happening in different places and in different ways. And you could think like, what is going on? Like you said, it can just feel like there's nothing I can do, and it can feel really disempowering, and it can feel like a really dark time. But in order for us to be in that higher resonance of the fourth dimension, which is what we're moving into, we have to be aware of what it is that we've created in this dimensional order of resonance. Now, you might think to yourself, I haven't created anything bad, like I'm a good person. And I'm certainly not trying to suggest that you're not a good person. But within us, within our own patterns, we have our own patterns of oppression. We have our own patterns of greed. We have our own patterns of scarcity and all that stuff. And so because we are creator beings and our reality reflects us, whether we've been like active in it or complicit by just not saying anything, it's basically what's up right now. And it's really this time where we get to see it, take accountability for however we've contributed to it, release the patterns that have contributed to that in our field, and then rise.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Right? Because
Yeah.
when you look up there and you see it's easy to feel helpless.
Yeah, for sure.
So are you saying then that what we do can impact that chaos?
Yeah.
It's just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right. Are you saying that we can impact that?
Oh, for sure.
Just us as an individual.
Yeah, and you can shift timelines and all kinds of amazing things. And so, just as an example, we have a client who's in the Limitless Potential Mastermind, and she's British and Israeli. Okay, so she's both English and Israeli. And a couple of weeks ago, she wrote into customer service because she wanted to get online for an IFC and then online for the Limitless Potential Mastermind. But she wrote in freaking out because she's like, they've been telling us that we have to go to the bomb shelters because Iran has threatened to attack. And so I might not be able to connect because, well, I'll be in a bomb shelter and it's not like there's super connectivity down beneath the earth and within this bunker thing.
This is the thing I used to hear my granddad talk
I
about.
know.
It's like, nothing's changed.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
go
It's
on,
the same
sorry.
thing again.
Yeah.
Right. So, and of course, it's like very terrifying. I mean, anybody who has to like deal with that reality, it's not like a very pleasurable thing.
No.
And so she's in the fear of it. Everyone in the city is in the fear of it. And so they're all preparing to go into these bomb shelters. And so what was amazing was our customer service team, who's awesome, wrote to her and said, just remember that you have control over your resonance. So remember that and to focus on that and see what can happen. So it was interesting. And sometimes you just need a little bit of a, you know what I mean? Something to like jog you out of the pattern that you're in. And she's like, that's right. I can do that. So she didn't really have an outcome, right? Because she wasn't thinking, okay, well, I'm going to particularly shift this, that, or another thing. She's like, but I can make myself feel better and potentially the people around me. So I'm going to work on myself and raise my resonance. And she said as soon as she did that, because she like claimed her power in a way in that moment, she felt this shift. And then within an hour, there was no threat anymore, apparently, from Iran. They didn't have to go into the bomb shelters. Now, isn't that kind of like interesting timing, like within an hour?
Yeah.
So can you shift things? Yes. But we're told over and over again in this time of chaos, you can't do anything. You are disempowered, which actually only amplifies this sort of suppressed rage, right? Which then feeds the disempowerment.
Yeah.
And then it just creates more of the cycle of disempowerment, fear, anger, over and over again, which then causes us to be up in our heads and really think it doesn't really matter what I do, right? And then we're in this state of disempowerment. And then what we're doing is we're creating more, because we're creator beings, disempowerment, fear, anger. It's kind of this interesting thing that happens.
Yeah, like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Right, let's come back to that then, because I feel like sometimes folk misunderstand what you mean when you say you're a creator being. But because the words have been kind of used for manifestation.
Yes.
Right? So I think what you're saying is the creation comes when you become aware or when your frequency drops. And then your reality sucks.
Yes.
Right? Because it doesn't matter if your reality hasn't changed. You feel sucky in your reality.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the point is then, I think what you're saying is to create a different frequency within yourself. Rise up. And then your experience of the reality is different. And now I'm asking, I know I'm like, it's a process in my head, right? So, because I want to get into the nuance of it, because I feel like a lot of folks think, well, if I'm a creator being, then I should create this amazing car parked outside my house and I should have a fight, but because I'm a creator being. And then, of course, it doesn't happen the way the thing is going to, and then none of this works.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It doesn't work. It's just, yes,
Right.
well, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I want you to get in there, because we are talking about a year that's supposed to be fantastic. And right now
It
doesn't
look like that at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is then, what do you really mean by creator being? Just let's really pick it apart.
Yeah.
Right?
So a creator being means that you recognize that you are source intelligence in form. Now, what the hell does that mean? So source intelligence, to me, is the creative energy, the impulse that creates, or the consciousness rather, it's not an impulse. It's an impulse created by a consciousness. That's more accurate. That creates everything in all the multiverses. Okay, so as much as you can possibly create, as vast, all the dimensional orders, all the creatures, all the consciousnesses, all the solidity, everything is created by source intelligence, including you. You wouldn't be animated. We would just be this like lump on the floor, right? Jello. And then we would just be like lying there, not doing anything, because we would be dead.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be alive. So without the source intelligence, there
Yeah.
is no animation.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So
So
I think
we can agree that everybody is source intelligence.
That's right. So source intelligence is creation. Okay. Now source intelligence is also neutral. Right? And so the thing is, for you, as you start to remember that you are part of this, and the unique embodiment of this force, intelligence, consciousness that creates everything, part of you as a being is to recognize that as that aspect of you, you create everything around you. So it's funny because, like you said, with that manifestation, it's like, I am thinking about my Lamborghini in my driveway, and I have a house that's 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and in this neighborhood, etc. Right? Like that's how we think of manifestation as humans. It's really funny. It's very linear. It's very focused on the physical, and it's very limited.
Yes.
Now, the funny thing is, how it really works is as a creator being, if you're really truly in that state, okay, without like a ton of distortion. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just talk about it in its like sort of clarity.
Yeah.
You would, if you didn't have distortion, you actually would manifest in real time, kind of like, the being that we know as Jesus Christ did,
Yeah.
right? So there are all these miracle stories of like,
Yes.
all of a sudden, okay, forgive me because I don't know all the stories, but there's like a lot of fish and there's a lot of bread, and I think there's wine where there was water or
Water,
something.
wine,
Yeah,
water,
exactly,
wine,
wine.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's like more food and more wine, right? Okay. So, and it seems to us like it's miraculous, right?
Yeah.
Because he did it in real time. It was like, and more, you know what I mean? And then it came into being, because that being is no different from us in the sense that he was aware of his creator beingness, and he didn't have the filters of all the distortion, which tells us that we're limited, that we're not that powerful, that there needs to be a delay, that we're not worthy, all that stuff, that we aren't truly source intelligence and form. He more clearly embodied that consciousness. And I believe he even said, you all are just like me.
Mhm.
You just don't remember. Okay, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I'm not, please know, I'm not a biblical scholar, obviously. So, but the messaging is pretty much the same. We are all creator beings. What challenges us is that we don't realize that we are creator beings. Everything is in response to the emanation that's you, which is a different way of saying frequency resonance. But the thing is, we're so caught up in our minds and we're so focused on the linear, like this is the way the reality needs to look, and we're so habituated to it. We create it over and over and over again. Like, of course, that's just the way it is. Or, of course, it's the way it will be, or they will be, or they should be, or it should be, whatever it is. So with our minds, we create all of this limitation and this stuff that is really quite frustrating for ourselves, which is, yes, mind distortion. And then we have our resonance, which has been very low and very dense and very focused on the limited and the physical for a long time, often in distortion patterns that you've talked about already, like, the fear, the oppression, the control, the greed, the scarcity, the whatever, and the whatnot, right? Which isn't great. So the reason this is such an amazing time is for us to really have the opportunity to recognize that we are creator beings.
Okay, stop there.
Okay.
Right, because
Okay.
that's the next question. Yeah. I have to get it in. So this time,
Yeah.
because everybody's saying it,
Yeah.
to the point where I'm like, oh, good God, if I have to hear that again,
Right.
because it's not fair on the folk that haven't been doing this kind of work.
Yeah.
And they've done a different kind of work, and they keep coming up against the wall. It's not fair, right, to say, in this time of ascension,
Yeah.
what does that mean to them?
Yeah.
But let's give real 3D examples. We know for sure that this planet and the solar system is shifted dramatically because there are planets coming into alignment that have not been in alignment since 400 BC, apparently.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I don't know the exact details, and conjuncts happening that haven't happened in
Whatever,
millennia and things like that. So
Yeah.
there's definitely something physical happening.
Yeah.
And that you're saying is this window.
Yeah. So it's kind of
Explain what that does to us.
So it's interesting because, if you're into Western astrology, there's a whole bunch of like stuff pointing to this time being the way it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about Western astrology, so don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you're into Chinese astrology, this is the year of the fire horse, which is all about movement and momentum and breaking down of old things and the rise of new things and transformation. And like, if you look at whatever happened in years of the fire horse, like 60 years ago, you'll see there has been like tremendous breakdown of old regimes, old way of thinking, all that sort of stuff. And the new ways of thought or new technologies have come through. So it happens, interestingly, every 60 years within, this Chinese framework.
Yeah.
And then, so you have all this sort of stuff in the astrologies, let's just say, pointing to this time, which happens to overlap with this massive upward shift in the solar system and in our Earth. And also, by the way, has been foretold for hundreds of years by the native traditions. Hundreds of years.
Yep.
They've been waiting for this moment in time.
And Edgar Casey, no?
Yeah, Edgar Casey as
You
well.
reminded me of that, Chris.
Yeah.
Edgar Casey book. My dad loves that book.
Yeah.
And so he would always quote these things from it. I was like, oh my God, yeah, Edgar Casey. He came back in the conversation again.
Yeah. So it's like a time that's been foretold.
Yeah.
So this window of ascension. So
So it's real.
it is real. And
Something about it is real.
yeah, exactly. And I think you have to be really careful with social media right now because there's a lot of like 2026, the year of like massive breakdown. And it can sound really terrible if there's no context, you know, and in a way it is really scary, especially if you are somebody who tends to like edge towards fear, like, oh my God, I've got to like protect what's mine and I'm not going to have enough. And
Yeah.
like, what do I do? And, you know, that type of thing.
Gee, because them words break down.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody
terrible.
wants a breakdown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if like all of your savings are in the thing that's supposedly breaking down, right? Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to be okay? How are my kids going to be okay? So I totally understand all that. And at the same time, the systems that we have currently are really rooted in what we've been talking about that have existed for millennia in humanity, right? Like we've been talking about the greed, the hoarding of power, the hoarding of money, the oppression of a lot of people.
Handful of people
Yeah,
have
oppress.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
An oppression of many. So that has happened for a long time, and we are in this window where it's not okay anymore, right? That's why there's this breakdown happening across all systems, and there's so much rage percolating. Like it's kind of interesting to watch. There's a lot of rage and a lot of like outrage in particular, and used constructively, rage can like catalyze movement.
Yeah.
It can catalyze the toppling of something old into something new. And part of the reason for so much chaos and part of the reason for polarity is not only all this like stuff that's happening, you know, that the astrology is pointing to. It's really for people to get pissed off enough that they wake up. Because, you know, some people have already been looking for this, right? Like all of you guys who are watching have been knowing this within yourself for some time. Like you don't really need the catalyst of this breakdown to like be like, oh, gee, it'd be better if I perhaps saw a different way, for example, you know, or perhaps something, it's time for me to explore something different. Like all of you are here because you have been exploring something different, but not everyone is like that. And so you have to remember that this is a free will planet. So everybody has the choice as to what they want to do. Do they want to ascend in consciousness level right now, or do they want to stay where they are? And you know, I've been knowing for some time that it's very, very likely, and who knows, because things can change at the last minute, that the third dimensional order will fall away, and we'll move into this fourth dimension. Now, what the hell does that mean? I don't even know.
You're asking my questions. Yeah, what does that mean? Because that can be scary to some folk.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
But what, we wake up one morning and the house and the dog and everything are gone?
Yeah.
And we're in the clouds?
Or half of your family's gone and half of them are still there, and I don't know.
12 foot tall?
Yeah, exactly.
I know Pam, my friend, would love that. She'd love to be taller. You know, yeah. What does it actually mean? Because they've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, I know. And I really feel like this is the year that is very possible. Now, the thing is, and I realize this is frustrating for most people, but like, it's funny how as humans we want certainty. It's like we want to know exactly what's going to happen on what date so we can be prepared. But
You don't have that?
no, I know. I know. Like, what the hell good are you? I know. Are you supposed to be doing that for us? Well, the thing is, if you knew all that in advance, then you would be in your head.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this time,
you just wouldn't do the work.
yeah, you
right?
wouldn't do the work and you wouldn't stay present in the moment because you'd be planning for this thing that might be happening, as opposed to learning to stay in your center, cultivating the practice of being present in your body in this moment and being in surrender, as opposed to like calculating like what the potential odds are and how to navigate to whatever outcome you think you want with your mind. This really is, in order to move into that fourth dimensional level of awareness, you have to be in your heart space as opposed to the head.
The head. I was just going to say, this sounds like a shift.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have been so head-based. Even our education system went from, you know, I remember even at school, we were taken outside to the forest to look at the leaves and everything. That's gone.
Yeah.
We were taught cooking and how to cook and
Yeah,
sew
art.
and
There was art.
and all them. That's gone. Music. We had
Yeah.
music 3 times a week. I hate it. But anyways, we had it. You know. And I learned all the traditional songs. Thank you, Mr. McBay. But all that's gone. And I would agree. Every Indigenous culture or group or tribe that I've met, they all speak from their heart. Whether it's literally telepathic because they don't use their mouth, Or they have this kind of song that
Yeah.
they weave
Yeah.
that everybody feels and hears and
Yeah.
senses what they're saying.
Yeah.
And we're all, well, I got an A plus and 90% in my
Yeah,
exam,
yeah,
therefore
yeah.
I'm a very intelligent being. Let
Yeah.
me tell you how the world will be.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
And so, right, now, I know
Yeah.
that you're going to do something with this because you already started doing this.
Yeah.
The shift to the heart, the shift
Yeah.
to the heart.
Yeah.
And you've been feeling that call,
Yeah.
just like everybody else has been talking about that.
Yeah.
This big breakdown is the breakdown of that mind, the ego, and we're now going to move back into this space in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like Heartmath have been saying,
Yeah.
it's huge.
Yeah.
And we've been avoiding it.
Yeah.
But now your work is about pulling us back in there.
Yeah.
I'm talking like this because I want folk to know that there is answers, there's tools,
Yes.
you know.
And it's funny. I feel like as much as we want this, like as much as we think we want the certainty, like of all the answers and the timing so we can feel safe.
Yeah.
The weird thing about that is that it's a false sense of safety because you're actually still trying to control the outcome with your mind,
Yeah.
right? But if you move into your heart space, and it sounds like a little bit airy-fairy, I just want to say that, and I acknowledge that because even if you told me that about 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have been very irritated by it,
Yeah.
you know? But there is...
Because it's an intellectual concept
yeah,
at that point,
exactly.
right?
Yes, and then you have to get to the point in your resonance. And I say this not as a like, like I have this, you don't. It's nothing like
Yeah.
that. But I'm telling you because it's possible. But in the movement into the heart space, it's felt or you're aware of it. For those of you who are not feelers, please don't freak out, okay? It can be, you can be aware of a shift even if you don't quote unquote feel, okay? So for some of you out there, you're not feelers. So what happens is the heart space just like expands into the infinite. So it's like your heart space like plugs in somehow, or your awareness of your heart space, that's probably more accurate,
Yeah.
plugs into this infinite sea of brilliance that is you. Like, and it is so exquisite and so like full. There's no room for fear.
Okay, let's stop there.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's right in the darkness right now,
Yeah, they're like, screw you. Yeah.
how do they get from there
Yeah.
to there?
Yeah.
You know, they might even be doing the work and feeling like crap. I'm not feeling any of that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about. And I've
Yeah.
been doing this for years, you know, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to get that breakthrough? Does everybody get that breakthrough?
Well, I think that's a choice that you have to make, right? And the more that you, and again, I realize this is so infuriating potentially, but the more you yearn for it and the more you attach to it, like, I have to get this because I want to get to this outcome.
Yeah.
That's a very calculated choice. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have like of course I want to experience that, right?
Yeah.
Of course you do. You're human. So that feels good. Yeah, I'd like to experience that. But if it becomes something that you narrow down into because you're so terrified that if you don't, you're going to miss it and you're going to be screwed like everyone else. Do you see what I'm saying? You're not really operating from the calling of this higher level resonance. You're operating from the fear resonance.
Fear again, the scarcity.
Yeah, scarcity.
I'm not good
enough. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to run out of time. All that stuff that we all feel, or I'm not worthy of it. And it doesn't matter what I do, I can never get there. Okay, so all that is wrapped up in those distortion patterns that are very heavy. And so what is... if you're experiencing a lot of like purge, a lot of these heavier distortion patterns, know that in this time you're going to feel heavier distortion patterns because they have to come up and out. So it may be, and I realize that it can be frustrating because you're like, I feels like I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just the same crap over and over again.
Yeah.
So I just want to remind people, and it's hard because you may not be aware of this, but the layers of density around you, for some of you, with regards to some of the stuff that you have had challenge with, let's just say, is quite deep, right? It's like a lot of them. And for a lot of us, because we've been in those distortions and our lineage has been in those distortions and we think that they're true and we amplify them in our experience and amplify them with our focus and attention and we rail against them and all that sort of stuff, they get bigger and denser. And they're coming out now for you to release.
Yeah.
So I know it seems like heavy and like, oh my God, when this frickin' gonna end? I mean, I don't know. And it can feel like that when you're in it. And believe me, I know what this feels like. I've gone through it too. It's not like I'm excluded from it. But what happens is that as you're purging, if there's some part of you that you can be like aware, okay, wait a minute. I'm aware that even though I'm purging and it feels really heavy and it feels like I'm in fear and it feels like I'm in darkness, is there a possibility that I can come into like stillness even, right? So maybe it's not like glorious brilliance, but some of you will feel this expansive stillness and you'll kind of just like take it for granted. That expanded stillness is you as your higher self. That expansive, infinite peace that some of you feel, that's your higher self. That's you as infinite, indestructible consciousness. It doesn't have like a lot of, you know what I mean? It's not like super emotive. Like that's not what your higher self is doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just say that because a lot of people think they have to have bliss, that they have to have joy,
They
that they
have
have to have
expectation that
they have
that's
that
gonna come.
expectation that they're going to have, I don't know, angels singing and I don't know, whatever they think they're going to have. And so they just kind of dismiss when you have this really profound, deep stillness.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that infinite peace is still you at higher self level. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because our minds will project, well, you got to have all these things. And if you don't have them, then you don't have them. And then you're not ascending, right? And now you're freaked out because you're missing the boat. And like, I don't know where the hell my bliss and my joy went. Like, wasn't I supposed to experience that? It's kind of interesting. So it's like, if you are starting to project into whatever your experience is of whatever you think you're supposed to be experiencing as you make this movement from the head to the heart, just be aware that that's your projection from your mind.
Yeah, totally. And I would love to add that I found when it sounds like when I'm still in the process, but at the beginning days of it, I found when I was able to forgive myself, that was me then recognizing, oh, wait, because I would punish myself or think I was useless. This is crap. I can't do that. Why am I bothering? How come she's going to, and I haven't? You know, that kind of way. But then it was almost like I gave myself permission to, that's all right. This is who you are right now. Just let it go, surrender.
Yeah.
And that for me was like the first hurdle.
Yeah.
Because everything else, now I recognize it. At the time, I was like, but everything else was the mind.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there was this moment. I'm talking about the folk that maybe don't feel. Talking to them, there was this moment where I just gave myself permission. Oh, this is who I am right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's no end destination, even though there kind of is.
Yeah.
There's no end destination and no designated time to get there.
Yeah.
I just got to do it in my way and just keep the focus that I want to keep my resonance high. I want to be the best version of myself, and eventually I'll find that space.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yes.
Connection fully to that source intelligence that gives me life force. And that's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And the funny thing is, I think the other thing too is because most of us don't have a lived experience of it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying never, just not yet.
Yeah.
You have to kind of like rely on what other people tell you it's going to be.
Yeah.
And if your experience isn't what their experience is, you can be like, well, I'm missing the experience. But it's not necessarily that you're missing the experience. It might be just that your experience is different.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that it's wrong. And it doesn't mean that you haven't gotten there.
Or that you're better.
Yeah,
or less.
it just means that you're having this experience. And the thing is, I just want to remind people of this. You are being guided by you, the higher self you, the source intelligence and form, that bit, you know, the one that's infinite indestructible consciousness.
Yeah.
That part of you that is aware of exactly what's unfolding and is placing things in front of you for you to be aware of, to see, to grow from, etc. Now, sometimes you can kind of curse your higher self because you're like, well, this freaking just sucks. You know, like, why am I suffering? But we're really kind of conditioned to thinking of suffering, like our own suffering like that, and then we can like really rebel against it. But the thing is, at some point, you're like, sometimes when we're in the suffering, it's important for us to notice how we amplify it, how we stay in it, how we use it to excuse ourselves, how we use it to limit ourselves, how we perpetuate it, how we get attention from it.
Yes.
All that
The
stuff.
secondary gain.
Yeah, exactly, is there. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm kind of doing that. And I'm doing it to me. And you're like, oh, crap. You know what I mean? So I feel like
Yeah. What's the solution to that?
well, I think in that self-awareness, you can be like, it's a funny thing because it could be like either a moment that's disempowering or incredibly empowering.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to see it as like, well, I'm screwed then, right? Because I'm always doing this to myself. Or you could choose to be like, wait a minute, I'm doing this to me.
Yay, go me,
Yeah, exactly. I noticed. Yeah, exactly. So that means I can change it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the point.
Yeah.
It really, honestly, that's what the remembering is. It's like, I can change that.
Okay.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I just want to bring that right back because I'm aware that there's probably tons of folk out there that have questions.
Yeah.
Bring it right back to this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's come back to where we're at in the consciousness, what's happening on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about all of this? I know that's a big sweeping general conversation, but you know, what do you want to do in this? Like you're seeing this now happening.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, it's funny. It's so intense. What do I want to do? It's funny, you know. I'm the reason I'm hesitating and waffling like this a little bit is because what I want is changing in the sense that this is going to sound totally irritating. I'm sorry. I'm realizing what I want is often so lame in contrast to what can be. So the potential of it. And I'm noticing more and more where I will limit myself.
All right.
Like I'm noticing like for example, this is a little example. The other day I'm sitting at my desk and as I'm sitting there, I have a sense of something's just changed in the field. And I know it has something to do with me, and I know it has something to do with this fall, and I can feel it, and I'm emotional because I can feel how big it is. You know what I mean? And there's this moment where it's so beautiful that I actually start to cry.
Yeah.
But there's no story around it. Now, there's part of me as the like rational sort of human Karen who's just like, what the hell was all that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'll just try to figure it out or project onto it or try to make it stop or whatever. And I had this moment where I was noticing myself trying to like quantify it. And I'm like, why am I even bothering to try and like condense it? Because I don't know yet. And I'm realizing like I'm trying to know things before it's time. Because if I really knew what it was, I would know right now, but I don't. So it's kind of like allowing me to a greater and greater degree into surrender to allow for the great unfolding. And I'm starting to recognize and start to feel what I feel like we're going to start to move into more, which is this embodiment and this awareness on multiple levels of consciousness.
Right.
I've only ever met one being in my life ever in New Zealand who does that now. That has been doing it for probably
since he was a kid.
Since he was a child, decades. He's in his 60s now, where he's able to be in his body, mostly function.
Actually, he does quite well.
Yeah, he does quite well. Yeah, he does. I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
He functions as like a person at this level, and yet he's aware of multiple levels of consciousness.
Oh, yeah.
Right now. And it sounds like if you ever speak to him, and I remember when I first spoke to him, like he would speak in riddles and I'd be like, I have no idea what he just said. It seemed really wise. I kind of got it, but it's because he was speaking at different levels of consciousness. And I was trying to figure it out with my mind.
I was just going to say, and he speaks, like I was saying before, he speaks to that heart space, that resonance there. He doesn't talk to here.
No, he doesn't.
He just doesn't want it. He's not even interested.
No.
He wants to talk to here.
And he's trying to like open this. At least he was for me.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I feel like that's where we're going this year.
Right.
Where we're starting to be in this thing where we have been like a lot of us have been incarnating for many lifetimes waiting for this time.
Yeah.
And it's not just about spiritual awakening. Like a spiritual awakening to me is like, it's the floor. It's like that's when you start to recognize, realize, feel, be aware that you are infinite indestructibleness in form, even if it's just for like a second.
Yeah.
Right? That's the floor.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as you get that. It's like,
oh, yeah, exactly. And it could be just, by the way, just this feeling of like tremendous expansion. It could be like you feel merged with the universes. It could feel like any number of things, okay? So however...
I'm in love with everything.
Exactly. And I'm in love with the brilliance of life and I'm so grateful for who I am and the choices I made. Whatever. It could look like any number of things, yeah?
I'm just trying to give examples for
people,
folk
yeah,
to
to recognize it.
you
Yeah.
know?
So you have this like feeling sense. And then it goes away because you go into your humanness.
Yeah.
But what will happen, my feeling is this year in this window of ascension, which is, in part the solar system upgrade that's happened, and also these waves of very long high frequencies that are coming through to help us, it's to be in the embodiment and to recognize what's happening on multiple levels of consciousness. And you might ask yourself, like, who the hell cares about that? Like, why do you want that? I mean, for God's sake, it's enough to like just deal with what's happening in the physical. Why would I want to have the higher dimensional levels of consciousness? But the thing is, you have to remember at those higher levels of consciousness, there is no fear. There is no scarcity. There is no limitedness. There is none of this weirdness that we do with our heads. And there's no like lack, really. And so when you're aware of those multiple or higher levels of consciousness in your embodiment, it means what you choose to experience, what you get to experience. And everything about how you feel and what you do is fundamentally altered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And I would like to leave it there
Yeah.
because I have a feeling that folk will
Yeah.
probably have questions.
Yeah.
And I'm also aware that, for people that are watching and kind of wondering, that shift from the head to the heart and stuff, I don't know, because people are not getting our mails. I kind of want to give a shout out, if I may, for the SMA retreat. Because I know some people actually thought there was a waiting list.
Yeah, I know. That was weird.
It's strange what's happening. So there is a San Miguel de Allende retreat, and it is
March, I think 19th to the 23rd.
And
And it's all about dropping through the heart vortex. Because anybody's been following Spherical Luminosity for a while, you know that I've been like heart space. I mean, I've been doing it relentlessly now for about a year and a half, preparing us for this time.
Yeah.
Because it's really difficult for us as humans to be like, okay, I'm just going to exit my head and all my preoccupation, stress, worry, fear, and drop into my heart space. Like it sure as hell was for me. So I don't think it's like a little like trick that you do. You have to, for most people, you have to like build up to it. But the wonderful thing is now we're gotten, for anybody who participated in the 3 workshop series, Invitation to the Higher Self, that was unwrapping the gift of source intelligence and form. That was a really pivotal thing that we did. And for the San Miguel de Allende retreat, we're really starting to become aware of, explore, dive into the heart vortex, holding the embodiment and starting to cultivate our awareness of higher dimensional orders of being.
Okay, just break that one down, because the heart vortex, right? Talk about the importance of that. I'm sorry, I was going to pass it across.
Yeah.
But let's break it down, because them words, folk have an idea, or some folk are like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
The heart vortex.
Yeah.
What's so special about that?
Well, in order to really stay anchored in the heart, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but sometimes it's really difficult to enter the heart space. You can be up in your head a lot, you're worried and all that type of thing. But once you have the activation of the heart vortex and you know what it is and you know what you're aware of it, it's easier to know that it's there and then to drop yourself into it. But the thing is, that heart vortex is really important because it's the anchor point or the access way or the portal or whatever you want to call it, gateway to the infinite and to multiple levels of awareness. So the thing is that's important about it is it's the bridge between you as your embodiment and you in terms of your awareness of these higher levels of consciousness that are you, not out there somewhere, but like you.
Yeah.
So you start to recognize, feel, be aware viscerally that it is already within your purview because it is part of you. And so when you start to have that heart vortex activated, you know it. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like all of this stuff is there. You know what I mean? It's not like it's never been there. It's always been there. It always will be there. It's just like our awareness of it.
Yeah. It's not like we've changed.
Yeah.
We still have a heart.
Exactly.
And it beats to keep us
It's
alive.
Exactly. So it's more than your physical heart space. It's about dropping into, and anybody who's, like I said, done the Invitation to the Higher Self, I mean, your bonus workshop was all about the spaces of the heart. So this is about coming into that vortex of the heart space to actually enter the quantum and actually hold the embodiment at the same time. It's a really spectacular and a very new way for us to be as humans. Because imagine if you could be in your humanness and have all the emotion and thought and the sensuality that you get to experience and that sort of like very intense emotion that we get to have. And then not have fear in the same way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was just about to say, because the beauty of being there is that you don't have that lack, that scarcity, that fear, that separation.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a separation as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge amongst us right now.
Exactly. Because then you recognize, like you said, I mean, I think it's very hard for people to understand, there is no lack. The only lack that you have is when you're here in your head.
Yeah.
Because your mind is finite and it thinks of only the limited. When you enter the heart vortex, it is only the limitless.
Yeah.
And so when you recognize, oh my God, like I am limitless, like I am everything,
Yeah.
everything is me, it's just the sea of light. Like honestly, I mean, in my experience, like my little human concerns become very irrelevant. You're just like, oh, because you recognize like I'm going to use the word truth, and I'm sorry because it can trigger people, but like the bigger truth of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's really hard for us to understand because we've been so conditioned to being limited. You start to be aware of, no, your limitlessness, not from here as a concept of what you want it to be,
Yeah.
but actually as like, holy crap, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd love to just add in there, because the Heart Math Institute talks about this, that like you're saying, that the mind has this polarity, the heart has a magnetic resonance.
Yeah.
So there's never an opposite. It's just love.
Yeah.
And it's magnetic. So it just brings in more love. So
Yeah.
again, that's kind of like the limitlessness that you're talking
about. Yeah.
But it's a higher resonating magnetic
field.
force,
Yeah.
field, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's also amazing is that, you know, and I'm doing a lot of this work in the Limitless Potential Mastermind right now because it's, you know, the most advanced mastermind that I work with. And truly what we're doing in that group is like freaking like mind-blowing. Like we just had one member said like, that was stealth. I wasn't expecting that. And it felt like I had my finger plugged into like an electric socket because I had all this energy running through my biofield and I had all this shift happening. And I wasn't aware of it at the time that we initially did the GFC. And then it just, all this craziness happened. And for her, she's feeling all this shift in terms of her perspective. And like, it's a funny thing when the limited starts to dissolve because you're like, because it's the very foundation of what we think is true, but it's not actually true.
It's not true. It is literally an illusion.
I know.
You know, you've been gagged and blindfolded, and now it's
coming off.
Oh no!
I know, it's really spectacular. And so that's
beautiful.
what we're in this. So for 2026, I just know that in whatever way that I'm helping to catalyze that memory of that.
That's what I was asking you. What do you want to do?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So let's talk about what you're doing in 26 really briefly, and I promise that we should stop there. So you're going to do the San Miguel retreat in March, and you are officially going to do a fall retreat now, right?
Yes. So we are going to be doing a fall retreat. It's just come in, not a lot of details, but it's happening. Yep.
All right.
Yep. So that will be coming somewhat soonish.
Along with all the courses that you already do,
Yeah.
and the free Mastering Your World. Everything.
Yeah.
My God, there's not enough, Karen. Let's give these folk what they want. They want to ask questions. Shut up, Fiona.
All right. So before we get to questions, we're going to be doing our usual live giveaway for those of you who have come on live. So thank you for joining us. If you want to I just want to mention, if you want to get a free month of Living Your Brilliance right now, I don't understand how people are dealing without it, honestly, because it is so important, because the collective is freaking out right now, as it should be, right? I mean, you're just like, oh crap. I mean, we just talked about like the breakdown.
Yeah.
Most people are not okay with it. Most people are like, oh shit, right? I mean, that's what's happening.
Yep.
So the thing is, in this time, it's about holding your resonance. It's not about like, okay, I don't see them. I don't want to deal with it because they're bringing down my resonance. But it's more like, okay, can I hold my center?
Yeah.
Can I be aware of my own resonance? Can I strengthen? Can I be aware of my own resonance? Can I shift things? Can I pull my resonance up? All that stuff is so important, but you can forget. You know what I mean? It's so easy to forget. I mean, so the thing is, living your brilliance is really important because not only do I have themes now per month to really help, to pull your resonance up, but also to catch you before you like do this.
Yeah, good.
Right?
So
low, right.
Yeah.
And then now you're spinning out and all this crap is happening in your life, right? Because that can happen too. I've been noticing it. Like the amount of like instability for some people, I'm like, wow, you are not in your center at all. It's like really, and it's somebody who normally has in the past been able to manage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so much like pressure right now. So anyway, what we're going to be doing tonight for the first time ever is we're giving away two Living Your Brilliance giveaways. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, Christopher.
Oh, he's
He's
gonna
got
say.
it. Okay, well,
He's the
there you go.
man.
So if you want okay, so if you're in LYB already, all right, and you're like, well, I'm already in LYB. Well, we'll refund you, okay, for the month of February. So this
Yeah.
is for the month of
So now
February.
we can have lots of cappuccinos.
So just type in hashtag LYB, right? So I'm looking at Chris.
Are we
'cause he's
doing
on-
that first?
Well, I'm just telling you to do it. So whilst we're answering questions, if you want to have time, don't write your name. Don't write I would like to have. Don't write hearts. Just hashtag LYB if you want to be entered for the Living Your Brilliance giveaway. And we're
Go,
gonna-
Patsy. She was number one. To put that in there.
And then if you're in it, you'll be refunded. If you're not in it, you'll just write into customer service and they will grant you whoever the winner is. The two winners are. Okay. So now that you're writing hashtag LYB, which will take you all of 3 seconds, we're going to go to questions, which Chris is going to put up. Oh, God. See, I really need glasses.
I
So-
can read that for you.
Okay, you can?
I was just showing off.
What does it say?
For those who are not aware of frequency work and their patterns are getting louder, are their patterns releasing or just ramping up to bring attention to them to be released?
Oh, that's an interesting distinction. It's the latter, actually. That's a really lovely distinction that you just made. So whoever that was, thank you for asking that question.
Mark 444?
Okay, whoever you are, wonderful question. Because again, you have to actually release them. Like you have to actually do the work to release them, whatever your modality is. I've never suggested by any stretch that the only modality on the face of the planet that does anything is frequency work. Of course not. There are many different ways to do this. So the patterns have gotten loud for those who don't do frequency work, who haven't been doing a lot of internal work or whatever it is that you're doing, for you to see them. So you're like, wait, do I want to have this anymore?
Yeah.
And if you follow that thread and you keep going, you're like, not only do I not want to have this, I want to start perpetuating it. I want to stop amplifying it. I have control over this in the sense of like, I'm creating it. So if I have a greater degree of accountability, things can shift. You see, that's kind of like where it leads you, however it leads you there. But to answer your question, it's a latter of your two questions, which is it's bringing it up in order to be seen. The clearing of it, however, is something that the individual has to choose to do.
Right, that's the free will part,
That's
right?
the free will part. Not everyone uses it.
And you're definitely not a person that encourages, I'll do it for you.
No.
on.
Yeah,
Get up and do
exactly.
it.
Exactly. Because, it's your free will, it's your journey. Okay. So let's see. Can you give some tips for holding the frequency for longer periods, like holding the higher vibes for weeks and not leaking our power without having to go solo in a cave? Well, yes. And what I would say is it's not, well, to me, implicit in that question is the not liking when it dips. You know what I mean? Like when there's sometimes a dip. Now, I just want to reframe like a challenge.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we have a dip in our resonance, we can be like, oh, that was terrible. Or I fell out of my zero. Or out of my center is a different way of saying it. And that was like horrible. And I never want to do that again because it feels bad.
Yeah.
But the thing is that sometimes you need to have those challenges to see where it is that you're still carrying distortion. So let me just give you a little example. So like even for myself, I still do it, right? And I used to, for everybody who's been watching me for a while, like, I'm admittedly had been very much a control freak, right? So I was always afraid of my own fear. Like I was always managing it. I was always afraid of my own scarcity. I always wanted to like not have to deal with it. I was always like kind of manage my emotion so I wouldn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, for example, the other day I was, and the people who are in Limitless Potential Mastermind have heard this story already, but over the weekend, we had friends who came to visit us from out of town, and they shared with us like a new investment opportunity. And I was really excited about it. And I was like, oh, I'm a super yes. And Chris on his own was a super yes. And I was like, well, yeah, let's do that. And so anyway, they leave. And on Monday morning, I decide, okay, well, I need to, in order to do what I feel is a yes, I need to liquidate our assets because we don't have the cash to do it as they've suggested.
Yes.
So, okay, so I call a very large institution and many times, and I thought it was going to be a very simple, like, can you please do this for me? Done.
Mm-hmm.
But 6 hours later, multiple phone calls later, it's like still not happening. And now I'm starting to notice that I'm getting very frustrated and I'm very, very angry and I'm up in my head. And I start to have this really weird fear that I'm just going to be in this endless fight with them and I'm never going to be able to get to our money, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so I realize when I go into my personal meditation, like I'm so consumed with my mind and so in my own distortion, right? And I'm like in scarcity now and like we're fine, okay? So just for everyone to know, it's not like like in scarcity at all, but in my little brain, I'm having this experience as if we are. It's like totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I realize this and I'm like, okay, I need to move back into my heart space.
Yeah.
So I move into my heart space and I enter the sea of brilliance and I realize, oh, this is just silliness. Like, like all my little mind concerns.
Yeah.
So anyway, I, get out of my meditation that morning and I'm just going to start to work and, think I'm going to go back to have this phone call and have to call yet again. And I check my bank account. I don't know why, but I just checked it for fun. And I looked at it and all the funds are in my bank account, even though they told me it's going to take at least 5 to 7 business days to process. Just process it before you even get the funds. So my point is, even for me, because I don't exclude myself from it, right?
No. Well,
You-
you're human.
Yeah, exactly. You have dips. And it's like, it's to not be afraid of the dips because the dips are there to show you something
Yeah.
and to be aware of like, oh, look, you just got very consumed by this pattern, time to chuck it. And I remember at the time that I was going through these patterns, my own distortion patterns of scarcity, a friend of mine had texted me being like, how are you today? I'm like, don't even ask. Don't even ask me. I'm in the throes of freaking scarcity, like up the ass, okay? So I don't even want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. So like we know like we can be aware that we're in it and still be in it and not enjoy it, but realize, wait a minute, this is something that I need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Okay. So that said, I also will say, so how do you keep your resonance up? Well, what I would suggest is you be really mindful of how much social media you're consuming and how much media you're consuming, to spend more time outside in nature, to be aware of what's happening in the collective field, but notice that if you're getting pulled into it and really work to pull yourself into your center and to do what you can to come into your center more and more, and to know that if you're hitting periods of frustration because something is up for you, it's because you're in this really opportune time to release this thing, which you need to in order to get to a higher level of resonance.
Yeah, for sure.
So I hope that gives you context. It was a lot longer answer than I was planning to give. There are a lot of great questions. I think Chris is just finding one that is applicable to everybody. What inner shift helps someone stay open-hearted and grounded during instability instead of falling into survival mode? And how does that change impact the people around them? Well, what was the first part? Shift helps someone. Yeah. So what I would say is before you even think of your open heart, I would say come into your center. That's your biggest thing because it's really difficult to be open-hearted when you're in fear, right? Just because those two like states are very incompatible. The in-between state, which is important that I think people forget a lot, is to be in your center. So really present in this moment in time, centered in your body, aware of your connection to source, meaning aware of not only your connection. In that state, you're going to be aware of a connection, but as your state rises, as your resonance rises, you realize you are source and form, but it's hard to access that when you're in that fear space, yeah? So when you're in this preoccupation, I think it's really important to really be centered in your body, to be aware of yourself first, because that's actually the main thing. So if you're having challenge with that, I'd listen to the Group Frequency Calibration. I think it's called, oh my gosh, it's on the website. It's like a quick acceleration centering into the zero or something like this. Something like that. So I'd listen to that to help pull you into the center. I would say that the GFC that I gave today, actually for free for everybody who hits reply to our emails, that's going to help you center at a higher resonance, and just lean on those group frequency calibrations. And do what you can to really minimize your exposure to things that are of a lower resonance, whether it's people, because sometimes, we have those people who want to share with you all the horrible things that are happening in the world, and they really want you to experience that with them. Right? That's how they want to share with you. And so to be aware of those people, people in your life, and to be aware of when you can be with them. So I'm not saying you need to never see them again.
No,
But,
no.
but to be aware of yourself, this has to do with cultivating self-awareness. Some days are better than others, right?
Yeah.
Some days are more centered than others. So on
Oh,
those
yeah.
days you feel more centered, of course, like you can be with them better.
Yeah.
And the days where you're not, don't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Stay away.
Yeah, stay away. And then, do more things to nourish yourself. Maybe you need to have more time by yourself. Maybe you need to be outside more. Maybe you need to play with, your pets more. Maybe you need to, whatever it is that you need to do to help you stay in your center, that's what I would recommend, because the open-heartedness will come from being in your center.
Yeah.
And then from there, then your resonance can rise. But if you try to go from fear to open heart, it's not going to happen. It's too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
So just instead of beating yourself up because you can't be like heart open, come into your center first. And when you're really present, aligned with the 0 point, then things can shift and open and start to rise in resonance. So I would say that. And how does that change impact the people around you? Well, I mean, if you just think about the people around you, if you're freaking out and like depressed and like sad, then obviously you're going to have a negative impact on people.
Yeah.
And you're not able to be as patient with them, to cultivate kindness and compassion with them. So it's really, if you're more in your center, what can happen is you have more of that because you're taking care of you.
Yeah.
And you're present and you're feeling like generally stable, then of course it ripples out and has an effect on the people around you. Were you thinking of something else?
No, I was just thinking about that question and how does that change impact the people around them? Because she's talking in the third person there. And yeah, I think it comes right back to it's being in your center and you don't worry about them.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Because if I sometimes find if I'm worrying about them, I'm now in my center.
Yeah,
It's never going to happen.
that's right.
Right? I just got to stay in my center and let the unfolding be.
Yes, because they are going to do whatever they're going to do. And it can be really hard, actually, with people that we love, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they're
and
kids.
husbands
Yeah,
and-
exactly. Whoever. We all have people we love, right? And that we want to be well. I mean, if you love somebody, obviously you prefer them to be well
Oh.
and happy. And some of us will bend over backwards to try and make them comfortable and happy.
Yep.
But the thing is, you can't make them comfortable and happy.
No.
Honestly, they have to do that. They have to choose that for them. So the more that you are modeling, as you say, being in your center, it's sort of like for them, they're like, oh, wait, like mom or like, my beloved or whoever it is modeling. Like, okay, oh, wait, I can do that too.
Yeah.
And then they can make the choice to shift as well,
Yeah.
which is
yeah.
really awesome.
There's a lot of surrender in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Well, there was another question, I think, yeah?
There's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a lot. Please.
Nice one, people.
Do you want me to answer the one that's been, oh, okay.
No.
Can the purge cause one to not want to do frequency work or be in our center? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this the other day.
yeah.
This little pal, I was laughing at myself. I'm like, nah, I'm not bloody doing it. This is all BS. And even when I was being pointed out and I knew, I'm like, I don't care. I just want to have that moment of, you can't do that on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me sulk and stomp my feet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the purge can definitely cause you to not want to do frequency work because your ego mind is, let me explain what's happening. Your ego mind is in resistance because your ego mind wants to stay like the dominant force, right? It wants to like be the one that's right. It wants to be the one that's better than. It wants to be the one that, is the center of attention and all the time and running the show. And once you start to move into your heart space, your ego mind isn't all that. And it can kind of really be pissed off, and it sounds like weird that it's like separate, like it's kind of like this sort of consciousness, but it is a consciousness within you.
Yeah.
And so it can kind of throw these temper tantrums about like, I don't want to, and this is silly. And, you can go into resistance. And so it's funny when we go into resistance like that. And it's to be aware that you are in resistance and that you're having a titty tantrum or whatever it is that you call it. And to be like, okay, and then give yourself a break for a bit.
Yeah.
And then allow yourself to just be in it for a bit. And at some point, there's going to be an aspect of you that's like, okay, enough.
That really doesn't feel as good as the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll move out of it. So to be patient with yourself as you're doing this, to give yourself grace. And, Yes, that can absolutely happen.
It's just that human moment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
we all
it's
have it.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back.
Come back into your center. That's why I'm saying open-heartedness is hard. Coming back into your center is a much easier threshold to come into. And if you're there, you'll feel better anyway. So, okay. And then, Chris, which one do you want me to answer here? Oh, this one. Okay. And then the person that you have written down? Okay. So if we cannot afford the retreats, how will we learn Go and this heart vortex learning? What else can we do? Oh, that's a really good question. Well, what I would suggest is that it's interesting. That's a very, sorry. So in that question, there's despair. That's what I'm reading. There's despair and hopelessness and disempowerment. Like, I can't change this. And in order for me to change it, I need to have this thing that I can't have. So I understand that, and I understand the disempowerment of it, and I know what that feels like. And what I would suggest is you have a lot of tools available to you that I give for free or that I've given for very little, like in the 2-3 workshop series I've given so far, which were for 11, like 111, which is, accessible to most people. And to use those tools, because the thing is, ultimately, whatever your experience, it's really about coming into the remembering of who you are. And that isn't in any particular pathway. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, it's not required that you be aware of multiple dimensional orders of resonance and be embodied in order to have the remembering of who you truly are. Those two things aren't the important thing is the remembering. The other thing, which is what I'm talking about, is the potential of what we can embody if we choose to. And that is something that is, for me, really exciting. But the thing is, in your challenge with your own despair, your own scarcity, the own stuff that's coming up, it's about seeing that and being like, okay, I need to address this.
Yeah.
Because before you can even get to the stuff that I'm talking about in terms of the embodiment and the multiple levels of whatever, awareness, dimensional orders of resonance, you have to clear this stuff, which is implicitly, I am not a powerful creator being. I don't have authority in my space. And I understand why you feel that way. Most people feel that way.
Yeah, especially if things are sucky and you can't afford to pay for this, that, the next thing, a bag of crisps, the petrol in your car, it's going to feel like that, right?
For sure.
But like you say, you always tell us it all comes down to your frequency resonance.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the moving into that heart space. It's about raising your frequency resonance. So that's stage one.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And we're all at that stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, or the planet would be different.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what I would say is to address those patterns of despair and lack of authority. And then what will happen is your remembering will unfold for you, and it is unfolding for you in the way it will continue to unfold in the way that it's unfolding for you. Okay, so just to know that I know it's hard to believe, but it's given to you in a very specific way in order for you to benefit the most, whatever your path is. So I don't know if that helps. Did you want to add something?
No, because I remember being in a place where the scarcity was so
loud.
huge.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it really was. Somehow inside of me, I realized it's just about clearing. My awareness had to be so acute.
Yeah.
I had to catch every little nuance of what I thought, or what I projected, or what I said. Like, it was so many layers and levels of it.
Yeah.
To raise the resonance, not just sit and do the group frequency calibration.
Yeah.
But to catch the thought when it passed through, to catch the thought when I heard somebody speak, to catch the trigger in my body. So many levels of it.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that was the game changer.
Yeah.
That's when I really started to rise.
Right.
And then suddenly all these answers and solutions were coming in. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and for just people to have context, and I don't know if this is too much detail. I mean, the scarcity you were experiencing was quite extreme. I remember at that point in your life
Mm,
where it was really hard. I mean, you were not sure if you could afford groceries.
yeah.
I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I say that now because the abundance that you live
Yeah.
in is like so drastically different,
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't been that long.
No.
I mean, honestly, it's been like a
No.
handful of years
Yeah.
where, as your friend watching you, I was like, wow, that's a really hard place to be.
Mm.
And I also knew you could get yourself out of it, but the only one who could get yourself out of it was you.
Yeah.
And you just had to, and the thing is, for people who don't know Fiona very well personally, I mean, not only was it like financial scarcity, it was physical. Like
Yep.
you were very ill. So it was like she was hitting, I mean, it was really hard to watch as a friend because I was like, how is she going to do this?
Mm.
But you did. I mean, you really came back from almost dying,
Yep.
to be quite frank, and then also teetering on like really hardcore, not good financial situation,
Mm-hmm.
to really being in this abundance where your body is strong and you're living in this place and now you have people cleaning your house and you get to go on vacation
And
and
I'm
you get,
running.
yeah, exactly, and you're running and you get to take people on vacation with you, and it's just a
Yeah.
really different experience.
It totally is, and I can totally relate to these people that are in that place, and it really is came all down to that awareness, and
Yeah.
just keep on doing that group frequency calibration because it was the thing that I just kept in training, and each time I entrained, I caught another thing, another thing, another thing. I reacted to another. I was like, oh, there it is,
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
you know, and just kept. It's like just keep doing it, you know.
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah. All right, one more question. Sorry. Any modality you would suggest for confirming deletions when I feel like I can't delete the strong pattern like low self-worth?
Hmm.
Oh, any modality. Well,
Do you know about
the
the
confirm the removal GFC?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I would say that it's difficult to do a confirm the removal just with your mind. It's not sufficient.
Yeah,
It's not
so
sufficient.
just to be clear, then,
Yeah.
you created a specific group frequency calibration that you gave for free,
Yeah.
and it's about helping somebody catch the pattern and learn how to push it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
To release it out of your field.
Mhm.
So most people do not have a sufficient resonance level to be able to do that. And if you're using your mind just to say, I want to get rid of it, it's insufficient.
Or
It
it
doesn't
would have
work.
worked. It would have worked by now.
Exactly. It just doesn't work.
Mm.
You actually need the resonance from the group frequency calibration, especially at the beginning. In
And
order
that
to
mastermind that was there. I mean,
yeah.
that was a huge mastermind.
yeah. And then it continues to grow because everybody who joins, in linear time, it just adds to the mastermind in the eternal now. And so it's a really powerful thing. So I would say be sure that you listen to the group frequency calibration that is on the website. I gave a whole Mastering Your Worldly Frequencies on the process of how to confirm the removal. So I watched that again. That again was free. A lot of this is available.
And you can write into info to get the GFC itself.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then also that we gave Mastery and Momentum the 6 core essentials, and so I gave the confirm removal at different levels of resonance, so you could use that. And the thing is, I think that people have this misunderstanding that like once they've confirmed the removal, it should never happen again,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like if they've done it properly, it will never come back.
Yeah.
For some of you, that's the case if you don't have a lot of layers of that distortion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're surrendered enough to allow for it to leave. But most people, especially when they start, aren't at the level of resonance where they have the authority to confirm the removal of many layers at one go.
Yeah.
And the lack of attachment, meaning the surrender and neutrality required to allow for many layers to go, because they're so afraid of the pattern itself. They're afraid that it's going to come back, it's going to continue to haunt them,
Yeah.
and they're afraid of that power dynamic. So for most people, they can't confirm the removal because they doubt their own authority to release it.
Yeah.
So you have to get to the point in your resonance where you actually trust your own authority to release it, so that you have to release enough of your patterns to get to that point where you're like, okay, it's just gone. And the thing is, as you confirm the removal more and more, that authority grows. And that's why when we gave power, authority, sovereignty, that was last fall, that was part of it, right? This has to do with your authority as co-creator. So if you're having a sticky pattern and you're confirming the removal and you're like, oh, it's coming up again, it's to choose something different, right? It's to like, okay, so just as a little like summary for people and anybody who's done invitations to your higher self, I outlined this like twice. Okay, so the steps are just for summary. Be aware of the pattern. You don't have to be able to name it. You can just feel whatever the thing is, right? You know what it is. It sucks. I mean, I think you're all quite clear on what the hell the pattern is, right? Okay, the thing that sucks. All right, so you're aware of it. Then listen to the group frequency calibration, confirm the removal of it. So meaning you use the resonance to help you to push it out of your field.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after you listen to the group frequency calibration, this is the important bit.
Yeah.
A trigger will come into your life.
Yeah.
Will trigger that same pattern that you just released. You're like, oh, there that little sucker is again. Good times. In that moment, either that moment or a little bit later, when you realize that you had a response, to realize that you had a response and that you can change it, then that is when you choose something different. Either internally, meaning you're internally, how you feel about it internally shifts. What question you ask yourself shifts. Where you put your focus, like is it going to be in your head or is it going to be in your heart or in your center? All that stuff is an internal movement. No one else sees that bloody thing except for you. That is enough of a shift in terms of choosing something different. Or it could also be an external thing, meaning an action, a behavior, words, that type of thing, right? So a different choice.
Yep.
So those are the steps for confirming the removal. You have to choose something different actively. You have free will. So what you're doing is you're using your authority as co-creator to release it. So if you're not doing all those things, you're sort of doing something incomplete. So, and remember that these things are layers. So remember I just told you my story about like, the thing I just talked about? Well, I mean, it's not like I've never worked on scarcity before. Okay, just FYI, right? I mean, like I've worked on that. It's like been a really big pattern for me. But I mean, was I able to release it in a very short period of time, just a few minutes and have everything radically shift within hours? Yeah. Well, that's because my resonance is high enough. Yeah. But I'm not really different from you. I've just been clearing for longer, probably. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. Did you want me to answer anything else? No. All right. Great questions, everyone. Now, if you want to receive emails in your inbox about the new podcast releases, which always include a free group frequency calibration meditation, or when I go live for these YouTube lives, then please be sure to subscribe to become a Spherical Luminosity Luminary. Only Spherical Luminosity Luminaries are invited to our special community events. Like the 3 workshop series that I just gave for like the smoking, like insane price of like $111 for those 3 full workshops.
Oh, plus the bonus.
Plus the bonus that
plus
I gave.
The Telegram.
Exactly.
That was huge.
It was huge. Yeah. So things like that, right? So only if you're a Spherical Luminosity Luminary do you get access to all that stuff. So if you want to receive any or all of the stuff that I give, plus the free Moving with Ease into a Higher Resonating, More Abundant You group frequency calibration that you receive for signing up, you can subscribe at the very bottom of our homepage at sphericalluminosity.com. All right.
But make sure to write yes first to the Gmail.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't forget when we send you the email next week to hit reply and say yes. All right. And then you'll get also this other free cool GFC.
Or you might never get that, other email.
Exactly. True. All right, guys. So we're going to pull now for our 2 winners of Living Your Brilliance, because that's a $200 prize. I don't know. It seems pretty good. So, okay. Chris is going to do something fancy, I think.
I'll just take a drink because
Yeah,
I
go for
sound
it.
like a bit of a frog. Poor Chris is listening to me going in the background.
Ooh, here we go.
Ooh.
Oh, the winner, the first winner is Sarah Gans. Whoa!
Yay.
Congratulations, Sarah. All you have to do is write into info@sphericalluminosity.com saying that you were the winner, and you will be granted LYB for free for this month of February. All right, so we're going to do the second one, right?
Oh, I like this.
Okay, second one. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, the winner is Will Monroe, I think from Australia. So Will and Sarah, all you got to do is write into our awesome Spherical Luminosity team at info@sphericalluminosity.com, and they will hook you up with your free LYB $200 prize. Pretty good. Just got to say, nice manifestation, guys. All right, so that is the giveaway. We are about to start the
part.
best part, which is the group frequency calibration, right? So we've been talking a lot. We've been giving a lot in this YouTube live, but I'm going to now do a mic change. So we're going to go into just a still photo so you don't see Chris's butt. I mean, through his pants, obviously.
I'm glad you qualified that.
You know what I mean?
Come on now.
But he has to mic me, all right? So just, this will just be can you imagine? That would be a totally different kind of show.
Oh, that's like the guy that's sitting on the Zoom call in his office meeting, and then the camera's too low. You see the underwear. It's like,
Oh, not good. All right, cool. So I'm just going to mic up, and then we're going to start the GFC, which is where all this change happens. All right, so just a moment. All right, guys, so we are back. All right, so the reason we gave a longer YouTube live this time, I know it might be late for some of you, is because I think it's really important. And if you notice at Spherical Luminosity, we're starting to put out more content just to help at this time. So let's see. For this particular group frequency calibration, what we're going to be focusing on is that expansive stillness, because that is the resonance of you as your higher self. You may not recognize it, you may not value it, you may want the bliss and the joy and the expansion or whatever else it is that you think that your higher self is, the love or whatever it is, and it is all those things. And also it is this stillness, which is really important at a time when there's tremendous noise. Okay, so that is what we are cultivating tonight. Let's get going. Let's rise together. Settling in. Becoming aware of your body, please. And as you become aware of your body, allowing your body to relax, to come into more ease, to soften, to take up more room. Good. Becoming aware of your heart space, please. And first, what we're going to do in order to access our awareness, our knowingness, our feeling sense, our knowingness of us, our higher self, we have to be aware of where we are in space and time. The reason for that is because you're aligning yourself with your own consciousness as it fractals out through the prism of space and time. You don't need to understand that. All you need to know is that your awareness of where you are in space and time matters. Okay? So being aware of your solar plexus, which is between your belly button and the base of your sternum, which is that big thick bone in the center of your chest where your ribs meet in front of your body. So whatever the center point is in that space for you, please bring your attention there.
And as you bring your attention here, using hands or fingers to help you anchor your physical attention focus. Yep. And now becoming aware, please, of where you are relative to the space around you. So becoming aware, please, of the distance between the ceiling to the center of your solar plexus. From the floor to the center of your solar plexus. Front wall to the center of your solar plexus. From the wall behind you to the center of your solar plexus. Left wall to the center of your solar plexus. Right wall to the center of your solar plexus. At whatever rate or speed feels good to you. Okay, so if I'm going too fast or too slow for you, just adjust, especially if you know what it is I'm doing. Good. Still aware of the center of your solar plexus. Okay, we're going to internally triangulate. Okay, so within your own body, which is more precise. So precision is important. It's what helps you feel more centered. It's what helps you feel more grounded, more stable. Okay? Just imagine something like a top spinning at a very high speed. If it's off by a millimeter or so, it can start to really wobble, right? So you're kind of the same. So, okay, hang on a second. Bringing your attention into that center of that solar plexus. Becoming aware, please, of the crown of your head, all the way down into the center of your solar plexus. And then from the ball of your right foot, all the way up into the center of your solar plexus. And then the ball of your left foot, all the way up into the center of your solar plexus. And I will pull us all into the 0 point. Even more. So some of you are really up in your heads, and not very many of you. You're actually doing, most of you are doing quite well. And some of you are really attached to what's going on in your mind. I totally appreciate that and can understand why you're doing that. And you might even be fighting with your own thoughts. So if that's you and you're agitated right now, then please move really slowly. Okay, use your body to help you come into the present moment of linear time. You don't have to stay still or static. You can move. Good. There we go. Much better. Well done. Okay, bring your attention now into your heart space. So I am now asking a new question. So you can use the question I've used before for those of you who have been following Spherical Luminosity for a while. And that question used to be, how can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? Which is a wonderful question to ask. And I'm also asking myself this new question. So if you feel like this is a good question for you, please go ahead and use it. And if it's not, then use the other one. And the question that I am asking myself now is, how can I become even more aware that I am source intelligence in form? So whatever question works best for you to raise your resonance And as you ask yourself that question, I'm pulling your resonance up, irrespective of where it began. And if you can, imagine, sense, feel, and become aware of a brilliance from deep within that becomes brighter, stronger, more expansive. Good. There we go. And bringing a small portion of your attention, like 10% of it, imagining, sensing, feeling the infinite field of the brilliance of the One. Noticing how it interweaves with, intermeshes with, overlaps, and is intrinsically part of the brilliance that is you. Everywhere, everything. Good. Very good. Bring your attention, please, to the center of your heart and right into the center of your solar plexus. Okay, so there is a lot of frustration and chatter and irritability and impatience, not just with others, but with yourself. It's interesting what's happening right now. And with time. And, why aren't things happening the way you think they should be? I get it. There's a lot of that right now. Okay. So these are the rule sets, the shoulds of the mind as a result of these distortion patterns of what are really truly non-worthy patterns of the limitlessness that is you. I know it seems weird because you can want that limitlessness, but we have so much distortion around non-worthiness, lack, being enough. Mhm. Imagining, sensing, feeling, please, a beautiful, brilliant blackness starts to wash through your body, through your field. This is the brilliance of the void, the resonance of absolute dissolution and absolute potential. There we go. Excellent. Good. And then right in the center of the heart space, we have two patterns that are amplifying each other that are not helpful. One is a disempowerment pattern, and another is a control pattern. So I want certain things to be a certain way, and then I know that I'm okay or that I'm more than okay. But I don't feel empowered to do it. Like I'm disempowered. and it feels like I'm not doing things on my own. I don't feel powerful. So it's funny how your higher self will provide for you. So you think in your little ego mind that you have to do something on your own and therefore you will be empowered. But when you raise your resonance, people come in at the right time. Or perhaps even if it's like a GFC comes in and it's available to you even, that is yourself helping yourself at a higher level. Or something that you hadn't heard before that inspires you and it snaps you into a different perspective. So we are very constrained in how we think of helping ourselves. And so we often will like discredit what is happening from our higher selves for us in order for us to rise. Even the fact that you are here, that somehow you found me, that somehow you've heard of spherical luminosity to do this work at this pivotal time. You created that. I might be the vehicle at this particular juncture for you, but you've created this. Okay? So hang on. We're going to release these patterns, this empowerment. Good. It's very limited perspective of even what your power is. There we go. Good. Imagining, sensing, feeling, please, this really beautiful, clear, crystalline light expanding through your heart space, all the way out in all directions around you. Mhm. Good. Bringing your attention, please, to the base of your groin and right into the center of your solar plexus. Right. So your mind has a very fixed idea of what it thinks it wants, what it thinks it needs in order to be safe, to be happy, to be successful, to have access to whatever it thinks it wants in order to be whatever you think you want, whether it's awakeness or happy or fill in the blank. Okay. Whatever the thing is that you think you want. Right. So with your mind, you're never going to have enough because you're always in the realm of the limited. Forever. It's only when your resonance starts to rise and you start to enter the limitless, okay, which is the aspect of you that is higher self, big ass self. Do you recognize that you really, truly, at a certain resonance level, have access to everything? So helping to release some of this addiction to these mind distortion patterns of this very fixed way of seeing the world. Yeah, and releasing this linearity of, well, it's this way, so it must be. It's the way it is because it is condensed in its vibration and has become solid because of your attention, your focus, and your resonance. And that's not to chastise you. It's for you to recognize how powerful you truly are and that you can change things. You're just remembering. Softening, please. Right into the center of the body. And for a little subgroup here, there's like anger. Okay. And it's, for some of you, it's rage actually. At yourself, at life, at the universe, at God, just pissed off. I get it. So, of course, you can hang on to this forever. And you can also become aware of it, allow yourself to have it, to feel it, and then to release it. All of it is within your option, basically. Again, you're much more powerful than you realize. There we go. Good. Some of you already starting to perceive, be aware of, sense, feel, or know this stillness from deep within you. Becoming aware of your heart space, please. So I'm going to amplify this expansive stillness. This is the resonance of you. You as your higher self, big S self. Infinite peace. Infinite expansion. And even if you have occasional thoughts, you can just, push them aside for now. You can think about them later. Choosing to bring your focus into this quiet, expansive stillness. There we go. Beautiful. Becoming aware of your heart space, please. Right in the center of your chest and your nipple line. Imagining and sensing, feeling your heart space expanding in all directions. And as your heart space expands, it's filled with the most glorious golden light. Good. And now for a moment, imagining, sensing, feeling, please, the heart space of Mother Earth, the planet on which you live. Her consciousness is what gives you form. Without her, there is no life on this planet. So for a moment, being aware of her heart space and asking for her permission to connect to her heart space. It is, after all, respectful. Good. And you may feel the love for all of the things on the earth that you love. All the waters and the animals and the rocks and the trees, all the plants, all of these very, very beautiful things that exist because of her. Connecting your heart space with her heart space. Giving you more stability. There we go. And expansion. Our Mother Earth is ascending herself. So now, as you are connected to her heart space and she to yours, creates this extra stability, greater expansion. Good. Bringing your attention now to that xiphoid process, right at the base of your sternum. And about 3 inches or 7 centimeters directly beneath it towards your belly button. And just going to clear out your pain body. Because as many of you know, your pain body holds some memory of you before the frequency work was done. Just takes a couple of seconds. Good. Everyone take a deep breath in, holding it for a count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling with sound. Holding your breath out. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing normally whenever that feels good to you. I would recommend staying in this resonance for at least 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah. before you blink your eyes open and look at something inanimate. So if you found this YouTube Live interesting or helpful, if you could please help me out by hitting the like button, as Fiona requested at the beginning, and leaving a comment after the YouTube Live ends. That helps us get our content out to more people who need it. There are a lot of people who need it right now. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again, however our paths cross next. Let's rise together.